Okay, welcome everyone to my class. Today's class is very important since the broad questions are in your syllabus. There are so far 12 students are present. I better wait for others to join. Okay, 30 students. Can I wait for another 5 minutes? Okay, let's start the class. Students is about Scopus theory. Okay, it is an early theory. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
The late 70s, the beginning of a new translation theory. It's Scopus theory. Okay, it is proposed by Hans J. Vermeer in 1978. Vermeer, a German translator, he introduced this theory. He also said it is a framework for a general theory of translation. Okay, again I say late 1970 is the beginning of a translation theory named Scopus theory. It was introduced by Hans J. Vermeer in 1978. Okay, in a German scholar, in a German scholarly journal, he introduced this theory in 1978. Vermeer's view is highly motivated to seek for another way to translate without depending on linguistic level. So when it was introduced, it was very much appreciated. It was very much appreciated by the linguists, okay, translators, since this approach did not depend on linguistic level. Because his explanation was linguists alone won't help us first, because translating is not mere, even primarily a linguistic process. তাহলে he doesn't believe on linguistic level because translating process does not depend on linguistic process. Secondly, because linguistics has not yet formulated the right question to tackle our day-to-day problems. Okay, two questions he says, that is, the translators don't depend on linguistic level. First of all, that is, linguists alone won't help us because translation is not merely depends on a linguistic process. Secondly, he says that linguist has not formulated the right question to tackle our problem. So he wants to think about something else. Why translation doesn't depend on linguistic process. Okay. This new approach has drawn a shift in the translation paradigm from linguistically oriented concepts to functionally and socio-culturally oriented framework. So this new approach has drawn a shift in the translation from linguistically oriented concept to a functionally oriented framework. Scopus theory has shifted from linguist to functionalism. Okay, Scopus theory is a shift from linguist to যেখানে দেওয়া আছে linguist to functionalism. Next, theoretical review. In a theory, Scopus theory, Hermes took the word from Greek language. Borrowing a Greek word, Hermes uses skopos, which literally means a purpose. Okay, purposeful use of translation is called skopos theory. It also means any translation depends on action and it wants to have a purpose. So Scopus plays a role as prime principle determining any translation process. Again I say, borrowing a Greek word, Varney uses Scopus, which literally means a purpose. Okay, technical term states that any translation is an action and it is goal oriented. So translation action needs to have a purpose, and Scopus theory plays a role as the prime principle determining any translation process. Okay. The requirement to have a scopus or a purpose has led to one important consideration in the Scopus theory. Okay. That is, the understanding what is intended to be achieved in the target text. A scopus or purpose of translating needs intended to be achieved in the target text. Understanding of the target text is very important. Okay. Scopus theory only regards the source text as an offer of information to which it is eventually be simulated. Simulated means what? Simulated means imitation. Okay. Imitation or means false way of following as a whole or partially into offer of information in a target text by acting into account the target language and culture. আচ্ছা আবার বলছি, this theory regards a source text as an offer of information. This theory considers the source text which is an offer of information, and this will be simulated, that means the information can become as an imitation as a whole or partially into an offer of information in a target text. Target টেক্সটের মাধ্যমে অরিজিনাল টেক্সটের কিছু ইমিটেশন হবে, কিছু ইমিটেশন এখানে বোঝাচ্ছে, দ্যাট মিনস ফেইন্ট ওয়ে অফ, ফলস ওয়ে অফ রিপোর্টিং। সেটা কি? wholly or partially the information of the original text artificially to a target text. Okay, by taking into account, এবং এটাকে মনে রাখতে হবে, the target language and also the culture. এই জিনিসটা বেশ ইম্পর্টেন্ট। Scopus theory keeps the equivalence between, এই যে ক্লাস শেষ না করতেই 40 মিনিট শেষ হয়ে যায়, এজন্য আগে ক্লাস শুরু করতে হয়। Scopus theory regards a source text as an offer of information. It will eventually be simulated as a whole or partially into an offer of information in a target text through taking an account of the target language and culture. So, Scopus theory tries to keep the equivalence between the source text and the target text. এত পর্যন্ত বোঝা গেছে? কে বুঝো নাই বলো? এটা কি? Scopus theory is a purposeful use of language. Language কি? The language that is used in the target text. And it also should highlight on culture. কিভাবে করবে? It will try to make equivalence. Equivalence মানে কি? সমতা between the language of the source text and the target text. And it also offer the information of the original text, that is source text. And it will be simulated wholly or partially into the information of target text and also highlight on target language and culture. ঠিক আছে? এটা ইকুইভ্যালেন্স, সমতা করতে চায় the language of the source text and the target text. এটাই হচ্ছে এটার পারপাস, এটার উদ্দেশ্য। তারপরে কি? it makes the equivalence of the source text and target text, বুঝলাম। তারপরে it regards source textটা কেমন হবে? a source of information which will eventually be simulated. Simulated imitation আকারে আসবে, নকল করবে, wholly or partially into an offer of information to the target text by taking into consideration of target language and culture. আচ্ছা, then Scopus theory has a great influence on culture. Okay, focuses toward the target culture. Garnier describes that Garnier describes that a translation brief মানে কি? brief মানে অল্প করে বলা, short translation. Brief is an instruction দিচ্ছে ছোট করে, given by oneself by someone to carry out a given action, that is to translate. তাহলে Vermeer in Scopus theory describes that a translation in brief, shortly, is an instruction দিচ্ছে, given by oneself, in oneself টাকে translator, or by someone else, অথবা অন্য কেউ, to carry out a given action, একটা অ্যাকশনে যেতে হবে। in this connection, অ্যাকশনটা কি? to translate. So a translation brief may or may not be stated and can be writing or speaking form. It cannot be stated or cannot be stated. Translation briefটা কখনো বলতে পারে, কখনো নাও বলতে পারে, but it may come as writing or speaking form. Okay. A translation brief is very necessary in the Scopus theory. It serves as a guide for translators. Criticisms over Scopus theory. Okay. Many linguists, they criticized upon Scopus theory. Heavy criticism comes from the proponents of linguistic and equivalence based theories. আচ্ছা, proponent মানে কি? Proponent মানে lettered linguists. Old linguistরা এটাকে appreciate করেছে, but lettered linguists who come in modern time, they criticized it. Okay. Scopus theory should put the source text as the starting point, regardless of the purposes of the text produced during the translation process. Okay. Another critic, Newmark, he says it is the oversimplification which is inherently exists in functionalism, which emphasize the message instead of the richness of meaning and also detriment of the source language text. Source language text ki khato koriye deয়. Okay. Another particular criticism mentions that this Scopus theory practice from a student's unclear criticism. He says that this Scopus theory is unclear guideline for the implementation during the translation practice from a student's point of view. Student's point of view, this Scopus theory is unclear guideline for the implementation. Okay. And students can understand it. What are step-by-step procedures that have to be done during the translation process? Okay. Then it's about Scopus theory. Okay. So anybody, any question regarding Scopus theory? আমার জুম এখনই বন্ধ হয়ে যাবে, তো তোমরা আবার রি-এন্টার করো 5 মিনিট পরে। ওকে, এই শর্ট আকারেই পড়তে হবে and it will come, it is very important for final. আর যে কারো কোনো সমস্যা থাকলে you can ask me after the class will restart.
এটা কি শর্ট কোশ্চেন হিসেবে পড়বো না ব্রড কোশ্চেন?
ব্রড কোশ্চেন আকার।
আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে।
এখানে কি কি বললো যে it doesn't depend on linguistic process. তারপর এটা বললো it depends on purpose. It goes for functionalism. Okay, linguistic theory তে না যে it goes for functionalism. তারপরে it depends on set of information of the original text and the information is diverted wholly or partially into a simulation process. Okay, তারপরে এটাকে কি বলা হলো, that is simulation এ গেল, functionalism গেল। it depends on also culture and language of the target text এর language এর উপর হাইলাইট করে। ঠিক আছে, এতটুকুই তো বলেছে। and it is incapable to literary text, especially religious text. religious text এটা ইউজ হতে পারে না, since this text involves highly stylistic and expressive language. Therefore, equivalence may not be achieved. Religious text এক্সপ্রেশনটা খুব ইম্পর্টেন্ট, তারপর লিঙ্গুইস্টিক কোয়ালিটিও খুব বেশি ইম্পর্টেন্ট, কাজে রিলিজিয়াস টেক্সটে স্কপস থিওরি ক্যানট বি অ্যাপ্লাইড। Okay, and it is unclear guideline for the students because step by step procedure cannot be maintained perfectly. ঠিক আছে, এরপরে আরেকটা থিওরিতে যাব, দ্যাট ইজ পলিসিস্টেম থিওরি। মোট 3টা থিওরি পড়ানো হবে, অফলাইনে আরেকটা পড়াবো, আর তোমাদের অ্যাসাইনমেন্টে দিয়েছি ক্র্যাডফোর্ড স্টেপস, সেটা অ্যাসাইনমেন্টে আছে। অ্যাসাইনমেন্ট দুটো দিয়েছি, ইন্টারসিমিওটিক আর ক্র্যাডফোর্ড স্টেপস। ক্র্যাডফোর্ড স্টেপ আসবে হচ্ছে তোমাদের শর্ট কোয়েশ্চেন হিসাবে, আর 3টা ব্রড কোয়েশ্চেন তোমাদের প্রেজেন্টেশন আকারে নেক্সট